Every single cruise I take, the same 9 things go into my suitcase before one piece of clothing does. One of them costs about $12 and has already saved me more than $200. And the last one on my list is the one almost nobody knows about, so stick around, because it completely changed how I end every cruise. And I do mean the last morning, the part everyone dreads. If we haven't met, I'm Amanda, your cruise companion. I've been on more than 25 sailings across Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC, Norwegian, and Costa, and I learned most of this list the expensive way, starting with my very first cruise at 38, when I packed all the wrong things and came home with a final statement longer than the itinerary. So this isn't theory, this is what actually lives in my suitcase. Let's start with the $12 hero. I never board without a good insulated tumbler with a lid. Here's why it matters. Up at the buffet, the drink stations pour into little glasses that hold maybe 8 ounces, and they go warm in about 10 minutes on a pool deck in the Caribbean. My tumbler keeps iced tea cold for hours out by the pool on a sea day. And when you're not buying a $4 bottle of water every time you're thirsty, that adds up fast over a week. Now, one important rule, and this is the part a lot of people get wrong: never refill your personal cup directly at the drink dispenser. That's a hygiene rule on basically every ship, and the crew will gently stop you. The right move is simple. Fill a clean glass at the machine, then pour it into your tumbler. 2 extra seconds, everybody stays healthy, and your drink stays cold until dinner. Free refills, all day, in a cup that actually holds a real amount. That's the whole trick. Now, here's one most people get wrong, and I have an embarrassing story to prove it. I always pack a few big sturdy clips, the kind you'd close a bag of chips with, just larger. On MSC Seaside, our balcony cabin faced east, and those blackout curtains had a gap right down the middle, about 2 inches wide. At 5:30 in the morning, the Mediterranean sun found that gap like a laser and landed directly on my pillow. I spent the first night with a sock draped over my eyes, and I felt genuinely foolish, because the fix was sitting in a drawer at home. 2 big clips pinch those curtains shut in 5 seconds, and the cabin stays dark until you decide it's morning. They also hold a wet swimsuit on a hanger, and keep your towel from flying off your pool chair on a windy deck. $1 or $2 each, pack 4. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, Amanda, how am I supposed to remember all these little things when it's time to pack? I heard that question so often that I finally sat down and put every bit of it in writing. The complete packing list, the 90-day countdown, the cabin guide, all of it, in the Cruise Verdict Handbook. The link is right down in the description, and there's a code on your screen for those of you watching on the television. It's there if it helps, and only if you want it. Now, back to the suitcase, because this next item is $10 standing guard over $800. And speaking of things that protect you from yourself, the third item is a waterproof phone pouch, the kind that hangs around your neck. About $10. I watched a woman on a catamaran excursion in Grand Cayman set her phone on the bench for 1 second while she reached for her sandals, and a little splash of spray was all it took. Screen went dark and never came back. That's an $800 phone, plus every vacation photo she'd taken, gone before lunch. My phone lives in that pouch on every beach day and every tender ride. It still takes photos right through the plastic, it floats if you buy the right one, and it doubles as a dry pocket for your key card and a folded 20. $10 guarding $800. That math never loses. Number 4 is my little pharmacy bag, and this next one is the one that saved me over $200. Easily, across my sailings. I pack a small kit with pain reliever, something for an upset stomach, allergy tablets, Band-Aids, and any prescriptions in their original labeled packaging. Here's why. The shop on board sells a tiny travel pack of pain reliever for $8, $10, sometimes $12, because at sea, they're the only pharmacy in town. And if a simple headache or a queasy stomach sends you down to the medical center instead, a basic visit typically starts north of $150, and your regular insurance usually doesn't apply at sea. I'm not saying skip the doctor when you truly need one, Please don't. I'm saying don't pay clinic prices for something a 50-cent tablet from home would have handled. 1 quart-size bag. That's it. Fifth thing, and it's not glamorous, but hear me out. I bring my own Reef-safe sunscreen from home, and I bring more than I think I'll need. In the port shops, a bottle that costs $8 or $9 at home is suddenly $20, $25 because they know you forgot it. And in more and more Caribbean and Mexican ports, especially the marine parks, regular sunscreen with certain chemicals isn't allowed in the water at all, so you can end up buying the approved kind at tourist prices right at the entrance. Check the label for Reef-safe before you go. Pack 2 bottles for a week, and that problem never exists. Quick question for you while we're here, because I'm genuinely curious. Which line do you sail most? Royal, Carnival, MSC, Norwegian, something else? Tell me in the comments, because I read every single one, and it helps me plan future videos. Number 6. Surprises people every time. I always pack 1 warm layer, even for a July Caribbean cruise. A light cardigan, a wrap, a zip-up, whatever suits you. Because here's the thing nobody warns you about. The ship outside might be 85 degrees, but the theater, the dining room, and the casino are air-conditioned down to what feels like 68. I've watched people shiver through a whole production show on Norwegian Escape in a sundress, and half the fun of the evening just drains away when you're cold. 1 layer, folded flat, weighs nothing. You'll wear it every single night, I promise you that. 7th, and this one takes 5 minutes at home and could save your entire vacation. I pack paper copies of my passport and my boarding documents, and I keep a photo of my passport on my phone. The copies stay in the cabin safe, and 1 folded copy comes ashore with me on port days, while the real passport stays locked up, unless the port requires the actual document, and your daily planner will tell you when it does. Why does this matter? Because if a passport goes missing overseas, the single fastest way to get emergency help and a replacement moving is proof of exactly what you had. People who lose everything with no copies can spend days untangling it. People with copies are usually back on track fast. 5 minutes at the printer. Cheapest insurance you'll ever buy, because it's free. Number 8. A small power bank for port days. Your phone works overtime off the ship. It's your camera, your map, your translator, and your clock for getting back before all aboard. And please hear me on that last one, because a dead phone in port means no time check and no way to call anyone if something goes sideways. A power bank the size of a deck of cards holds 2 full charges. 2 quick honesty notes though, because I'm on nobody's payroll and rules are rules. Keep it in your carry-on bag, never in checked luggage. That's a standard battery safety rule. And a few cruise lines have tightened their policies on batteries lately, so give your line's prohibited items list a 2-minute read before you sail. It changes, and I'd rather you hear that from me than from a security table. And now, the one I promised you at the start. The one almost nobody packs, and the one that changed how I end every cruise. It's a packable duffel bag, the kind that folds down flat into its own little pouch and weighs next to nothing. Here's the secret behind it. On the last night of your cruise, the standard routine is that you put your suitcases outside your cabin door by around 10 o'clock, and the crew collects them overnight. Which means you spend your final night and your last morning living out of whatever you remembered to hold back. Your toothbrush, tomorrow's clothes, your chargers, your medications. Forget one thing and it's sealed in a bag somewhere below deck. Then in the morning, you wait for your luggage group to be called, and you can sit in that terminal line for an hour or more. The duffel changes everything. It gives me the room to keep my last day essentials with me, and on sailings where I go one step further and carry everything off myself, most lines call it self-assist or express walk-off, I'm off the ship shortly after the doors open, ahead of the crowds, no waiting for bags at all. And there's a money bonus. When my suitcase comes home heavier than it left, and let's be honest, it always does, souvenirs go in the duffel as a second bag instead of tipping my suitcase over the airline's 50-pound limit, where the overweight fee can run $100. One flat little bag, and the worst morning of the cruise becomes the smoothest. That's the one I never see on packing lists, and now it's yours. So those are my 9. Now, quickly, the 3 things I never pack, because leaving things home is packing too. First, I never bring expensive jewelry or anything I'd cry about losing. Cabin safes are fine, but between beach days, excursions, and busy terminals, there are just too many moments for something precious to slip away, and travel insurance often has strict limits on valuables. The nice pieces stay home, and honestly, nobody at dinner is checking. Second, I never pack a drone, and if you were thinking about it, please look this up first. Most major cruise lines either ban them on board entirely or lock them away for the whole sailing, and plenty of ports have their own laws about flying them. Rules vary by line, so check yours. But for most of us, it's an expensive gadget that spends the week confiscated in a locker. And third, I never pack the just-in-case wardrobe anymore. On my first cruise, I brought outfits for every scenario I could imagine. 5 pairs of shoes, options on top of options, and I wore maybe half of it while dragging all of it through 2 airports. No judgment here if packing options is part of your joy, but these days I pack roughly half of what I once did, mix and match colors, and I've never once stood in my cabin wishing I'd brought more. Here's the big takeaway, fellow cruisers. Smart packing isn't about bringing more, it's about bringing the $12 things that protect the $800 things, so you never pay twice for the same vacation. If you want to go deeper, everything from this video, and plenty more, lives in that handbook I mentioned earlier, and you'll find it linked down in the description. If saving money on every sailing sounds like your kind of thing, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure the next tip finds you. I'm Amanda, your cruise companion. Pack light, keep your phone dry, and I'll see you on the next one. Smooth seas, my friend.